Introducing the X System bracket by InSoFast, the simple new way for exterior continuous insulation. Hi, I'm Matt with InSoFast, and I'm about to show you how to install the new X bracket system onto your next build. This bracket makes it possible to run your insulation all the way from the bottom of your wall to the peak of your roof, providing a continuously unbroken layer of insulation and weather resistance in one application. We have already prepared the windows for our X bracket installation. The first step in the installation process is going to be bracket layout. You are going to want to refer to the installation guide to choose your bracket spacing. Because I'm doing horizontal siding, I'm going to do a mark level with the bottom of my subfascia so I can lay out the bracket based on the height of the fascia board, so the soffit will line up properly and the end of my vertical siding can be installed. I just put the mark for the elevation of the top of the X System brackets, so I'm about to snap a line all the way across. I already marked the other corner. The bottom part of this wall from here down is getting a siding that requires vertical furring, and the top from here up requires horizontal furring. So we're going to have a furring strip that halfway overlaps this bottom row, and then the vertical furring strips are going to go down. I haven't installed the bottom ones yet. Horizontal siding, we're going to want to stagger every other stud. So on this row, I'm hitting this stud here and skipping it here. And up here, I'm skipping this stud here and hitting it here with the bracket. So one thing you're going to need to know when you're attaching these brackets is you're going to want to get your nails or screws close in to this curve of the bracket. So right in here where these nails are is perfect. I'm now going to nail up some baffles between the ends of the rafter tails. This is going to allow the spray foam to go continuously from the wall over top of the roof. When it comes time to install brackets around the windows, you may have to adjust your pattern. The line for the top of the brackets that runs right through about here, but we have our window gutters in here, so we're just going to have to shift the pattern down about to this mark on the OSB to allow proper install. At the top of the window, we have our line for the top of the bracket right here. We're actually going to need two brackets here so it will support the furring strip. So I'm going to put one here at the line and one up here above it. So as you can see, we've installed the bottom of the wall flashing. This is going to act as a retainer for the spray foam. Here's a piece of what we had. So you can see it's just U-shape on the top with an F channel on the bottom. The purpose of this F channel on the bottom is so you can install a vented soffit panel in the bottom of the wall. And when you install the furring strips, you're going to have another F channel that attaches to the end of the furring strips. So this piece is going to be attached to your wall. After the spray foam is sprayed, you're going to insert your soffit panel and then hold it in place with an F channel that's attached to the bottom of the furring strips. So this is more or less what the bottom of the wall is going to look like, with the retaining flashing installed, your soffit panel installed into the J channel, and the F channel installed over the end of the furring strips. One thing you'll notice is we don't have any roof underlayment on before we install the brackets. The reason for that is because we are going to be installing a second layer of roof sheathing over top of our X system brackets and furring strips. Then your roof underlayment will go on top of that. When the spray foam is installed, you're going to also have a cross-ventilated rain screen that will go up from the wall and transition to the roof right here and continue underneath this furring strip. This system allows you to have a complete monolithic layer of spray foam insulation that's also going to be your air barrier, your water barrier, sound barrier, all the way from the bottom of your wall up over through here and up to the peak of your roof. That is screwing on these furring strips. This is the last step before we are ready for the sheathing. These furring strips are going to provide ventilation all the way to the roof peak. The ventilation is going to start at the bottom of the wall in our soffit detail, go up and over to the ridge vent that we're going to install after the sheathing. This roof is a 10-12 pitch, and as you can see, it's easily walkable with the spray foam. The surface of the spray foam is tough enough that it won't scuff up easily walking on it. Tommy from Integrity just did the spray foam as you just saw. Tommy, do you have any feedback on the system in general, what you think of the system overall?
It went fairly well. It was a little bit of a learning curve at first. I touched up around the brackets and then filled up in between, but when we came over to the other side, I just filled it in between without doing the touch-up work. And I feel like that made us a lot more efficient. It went faster. We went with a 042 tip, which was a good size to go with.
How do you think the X-bracket system will positively impact the spray foam industry?
I get a lot of calls injecting foam into old houses, which I don't offer that for various reasons. But so I think this would be a good application. For an example, an old farmhouse, which the inside is okay yet or has been remodeled in the last 5 years, but they didn't do anything with the insulation, so we could use this system to go on the outside, and it would really make a huge difference in heating and cooling a house like that.
Yeah, it would definitely make a huge improvement. I mean, this is going to be about 1.5 times the performance of an average 2x6 wall these days, built up to the modern day code. What was the biggest challenge in installing the spray foam on this project?
Maybe the roof system. This is what, the 612 pitch, I think?
It's 1012 actually.
1012. So that was probably one of the biggest challenges, working off a lift. Yeah, like a 412 pitch would have been much easier to do.
How long in a frame of time would you say the learning curve is for the X-bracket system?
So I would say my first half hour, I tried a couple different techniques, and after my first half hour I had it down to where it worked really well.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did what? We did a little over 1,050 square feet in a 8-hour day, so it went fairly fast.
So how does it compare to spraying on the inside production-wise? How many square foot per day would you say?
It's fairly close to a 2x4 wall on the inside, or excuse me, a 2x6 wall on the inside. Of course, like a shed would go faster, but it's about the same.
Do you have anything else to say about the X-bracket system?
I feel like this will make a huge difference or a huge impact in the spray foam industry, just because it's a unique way of insulating a house or in any old or older building that you don't really want to remodel or from the inside.
It's definitely a good step towards sustainability in the housing market, being able to retrofit old buildings.
Right.
What benefits do you see in doing a house with insulation like this?
I think the biggest thing is there's a complete envelope around.
Yep.
Versus if we go inside a structure or a house and go between the studs, a typical house will have, I believe, 15 to 18% of studs, and there's very little R value with each stud.
Yeah.
So this way covers it all.
Yeah, and those studs that used to take away from the R value are actually adding to the R value because they're on the inside of the foam.
Right.
So instead of taking a hit because of the stud, you could actually get a marginal increase in your overall wall performance. Right. I want to thank you for coming out and spraying this building today. It's really been a good learning experience for both of us on this first project. We look forward to doing more projects with you guys in the future and Integrity of Mitchell. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave your comments down below. And if you would like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. Thank you. All right.
It's a wrap. Awesome.
Thank you for coming out.
Yep.